Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jayo Jayo Śrī Caitanya Jayo Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jayo Jayo Śrī Caitanya Jayo Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So in the morning today, we were very fortunate to have the Bhagavatam class being given by His Grace Vaishashaki Prabhu. Do you know anyone? Have you heard about Vaishashaki Prabhu? There is one Vaishashaki Prabhu who is a very famous singer. He is also Prabhupada disciple. But there is one Visheshekha Prabhu. He is the foremost book distributor of our ISKCON movement. He is an Acharya of book distribution. And when he started the class, he was sharing. He said that in this month, he is Prabhupada disciple, very senior person in ISKCON, in the entire ISKCON worldwide forum. He said that every day for 5 hours, we were studying Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And he said that in 20 days, we completed 17 chapters of Adi Leela. So I was very inspired. I was so inspired. This is what we are attempting. And I will share one verse, which has been my find on this tour of Mayapur this time. Very exceptional verse. So let others also join. Then I will share that verse, what it means to hear and to hear in association. Amazing. So we see the jubilation. Everyone is jubilant as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. Kaviraj Goswami in this 13th chapter is giving the description of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And this is the key verse which we studied yesterday. Nadiya Udaya Giri Purnachandra Gaura Hari Kripa Kari Hoila Uday Papatama Hoila Nasha Trijagya Taira Ullasa Jagabhari Haridhvani Hoya. So Nadiya Udayagiri. So in the town of Nadia, it is the appearance place where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. And how has he appeared? He has appeared as Purna Chandra. Like the full moon which has appeared on the horizon. Because the day when he appeared, it was a full moon night. So he has appeared. And what is the purpose? The purpose is to bestow his mercy. Thus, by his causeless mercy, the full moon Gaur Hari rose in the district of Nadia, which is compared to Udayagiri, where the sun first becomes visible. His rising in the sky dissipated the darkness of sinful life, and the 3 worlds became joyful and chanted the holy names of the Lord. So, he created such a setting that everyone was chanting, everyone was jubilant, they were singing, dancing, chanting. The 3 worlds were in jubilation. They were all celebration, that they were all witnessing the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, there is the Jat Karma, the birth giving ceremony, which is happening, and many ladies from Navdeep come. Also, there is a very special personality who comes, that is wife of Advaita Acharya, Srimati Sita Devi. And Shivas also comes, Chandrasekhar comes. So everywhere in the entire Navdeep, the attention is Sachi Devi and Jagannath, because they have been blessed with such a divine son. So everyone is rushing towards Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi's house. We'll start from here. Aiche Sachi Jagannathe Putra Paya Lakshmi Natha. So Aicha Sachi Jagannatha Putra Paya Lakshmi Natha. If you see Caitanya-caritāmṛta, if you see the verse, it says Aiche Sachi Jagannatha. Simple. Putra, it is not Pana, it is Paya. It is Ya. That Na is Ya. And Sachi and Jagannath, whom did they receive as their putra? Lakshmi Nath. That is Vishnu. Purna hoila sakala vanchita dhana dhanya bhare ghare lokamanya kalevare dine dine hoye anandita. So there was so much of opulence, there was so much of resources, everything started to pour in. As Lord appeared, Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra having obtained a son who was the husband of the goddess of fortune. He was Putra Lakshmi Natha. So if Lakshmi Nath is there, Lakshmi is already there. So their house was always filled with. So whoever, Prabhupada says in this purport, that if a Vaishnava who sticks to his position as an eternal servant of the Lord and executes the will of the Lord, there is no question of scarcity of his personal maintenance or the need of his family. And we see here, when you come here, you will be surprised. There are at least more than 500, more than 1,000, much more than 1,000 now. Maybe few thousand Grihastha devotees residing in Sridham Mayapur. Many of them foreign-bodied. And how their maintenance is done is very mystical. And I can assure you the kind of living that they have, not many millionaires will. How it happens? Because they have maintained, they have an eternal position of the servant of the Lord and the servant of the servant of the Lord. So there is no question of scarcity in the maintenance. Aiche Prabhu Sachi Ghare Kripa Kaila Avatare Yeha Karai Shravana Gaur Prabhu Dayamoy Tare Hoi Na Sodai Sei Pae Tara Charana. So Kaviraj Goswami is giving the Shruti Fal. You understand what is Shruti Fal? Shruti Fal समझते हैं? What is Shruti Fal? Shruti Fal is the advantage of hearing the Krishna Katha or that particular episode. So here Kaviraj Goswami is particularly mentioning that whoever has heard this episode of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent, Aiche Prabhu Sachi Ghare. The Lord has appeared in the Angan, in the courtyard of Sachi Devi. And why has he appeared? Kripa Koile Avatar. To bestow mercy to everyone. Yei iha karai shravana. So whoever hears the appearance pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaura Prabhu Dayamai, Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation. Tare hai na sadai. For him, what is the advantage? Sei paye tahara charan. So the person who is hearing the advantage, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sure to attain the charan, the lotus feet, the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, made his advent in the house of Sachi Devi. Lord Chaitanya is very merciful to anyone who hears this narration of his birth. Lord Chaitanya is very merciful to whoever hears the narration of this birth, and thus such a person attains the lotus feet of the Lord. Hari Hari. So just by hearing, one can attain the eternal shelter, the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he says, then he warns. So Kaviraj Goswami, he is saying, those whoever have heard it, those who are my readers, they will obviously attain the lotus feet of the Lord. And those who do not hear, they are busy elsewhere. So what he says, this payar is to be memorized. Very, very nectarine and very instructive. It says, Paya manushya janma yena sune gaura guna hena janma tara vyartha haila. Paya amrita dhoni piye visha garta pani janiya se kena nahi maila. So paya manushya janma, having obtained this human form of life, yena sune gaura guna. But even after having obtained the human form of life, one does not sufficiently hear Gaur Guna, the transcendental qualities and glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So for such a person, his human birth, Hena Janma Tara Vyartha Hoila, his human form of life is just a waste. It has gone useless. Why? Because the opportunity is to Paya Amrita Dhuni Piye Visha Garta Pani. By hearing the nectarine pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gets the opportunity to drink paya, to drink the nectar. But what is he drinking? He is rejecting the nectar and he is embracing the poison. Piye Vishagarta Pani. So anyone who attains this human body but does not take to the cult of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu is baffled in his opportunity. Prabhupada goes further, he says he is baffled in his opportunity. I see so many times. Even today I was trying to persuade some of the devotees not to quit but to come. This is what Kaviraj Goswami is saying. And that is why for karmis to take to devotional life is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Because time and again, they are inclined to do the punah charvita charvananam. They are again and again attracted to pursue the same things which we have done in their so many years of life. Janma mrityu, jara vyadhi will be retained because they are busy in ahar nidra bhaya maithun. That bhaya is so heavy. Here, Kaviraj Goswami is saying that if one does not take to the process of hearing and chanting, then his life has become useless. And who does not care to take the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is baffled in his opportunity. So whatever opportunity is being looked upon, that opportunity is not there. Amrit Dhuni is flowing, river of the nectar of devotional service. If after getting a human body, one drinks the water in a poison pit of material happiness instead of water of such a river, it would be better for him to not have to live, but have died long ago. So Kaviraj Goswami is very strict. He is saying for such a person, it is better to give up his life than to live. There are many, many verses quoted. Achaitanyam idam vishwam yadi chaitanyam ishwaram na vidu sarva shastragna Hi api brahmayanti te jana. In this material world is without Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna consciousness personified. Therefore, if a very learned scholar or scientist does not understand Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, certainly he is wandering uselessly in this world. Na vidu sarva shastragna. Shastragna means not to be able to know. So what is the result? Hi api brahmanti tejana. Brahmayanti tejana. That is what Krishna says. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriday deshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani. Brahmayan means that everyone is wandering, or everyone is baffled, or everyone is rotating. Why? Because he is already fooled. Brahmayan. He is in Brahm. He is in illusion. Parashita Mahaprema Piyusha Rasa Sagare Chaitanya Chandra Prakate Yodina Dina Evasa. A person who does not take advantage of the nectar of devotional service overflowing during the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult is certainly the poorest of the poor. Dina Dina Evasa. Parasarita Mahaprema. Sarita means the river. And Prasarita means the river which is filled with Prema Piyusha, Rasa Sagare. That river which is filled with the Prema of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one does not drink from there, so such a person is the poorest of all persons. So in this way, Śrī Caitanya, this is the last verse of this chapter. So Kaviraj Goswami is warning through his writings that never ever we should think that devotional service is secondary and any other activity is primarily. Śrī Caitanya Nityananda Acharya Advaita Chandra Swarup Rupa Raghunath Dasa Iha Sabha Shri Charane Sire Vandi Nija Dhana Janma Lila Gaila Krishna Dasa. So look at the attitude and approach of Sri Kaviraj Goswami. What is he saying? Śrī Caitanya Nityananda Acharya Advaita Chandra. So he is offering his obeisances, he is glorifying Swarup Rupa Raghunath Dasa. Iha Sabar Shri Charane. So I have already seek shelter of all these personalities. Shire Vandi Nija Dhane. I Krishnadas, okay, taking on my head as my own property. What is the dhana? Dhana for Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is not money or wealth or bank balance or property. What is the dhana he is saying? Is the dust of the lotus feet of these Vaishnavas. Taking on my head as my property the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Acharya Advaita, Chandra, Swarup Damodar, Rup Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. I, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, have described the advent of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has already given the benediction that whoever hears this advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he receives? What does he receive? What is the benefit of hearing from Kaviraj Goswami? Yes, Ganesh Prabhu?
Prabhuji, they will attain lotus feet of the Lord.
What does it mean to attain lotus feet? They will attain complete shelter of the Lord. So now we will begin the second chapter. Second in terms of the description. So now we have covered the 13 chapters. So the 4 chapters are left. 14, 15, 16 and 17. And Mahaprabhu Leela is divided in how many phases? We discussed that yesterday. Day before yesterday. Mahaprabhu's Leela is described in how many phases? Sonika is very attentively hearing. I don't know what about others. They are still spaced out. Yes, Dolamani?
Prabhuji, mainly two.
No, not that way. Not that way. And how many phases his Leela is there? His Leela means his pastimes. What are the age spans?
4, Prabhuji, 4.
Four. What are the four?
Prabhuji, first is Balya Leela.
Yeah. So
Second
14th
is
chapter will describe about his Balya Leela. 14th chapter will describe about the Balya Leela. Then
Prabhuji, then Poganda.
Poganda is from age?
It is from 5 to 11,
No.
Prabhuji.
No.
6 to 11.
No. Again, only Sonika's hand is up. Why? You people or other people are not hearing or what? See, then this Ashirvad will not work. The Shruti Fal which is given. Yes, Manish Prabhu?
Prabhuji, it is 6 to 10.
Yes. And what is it called?
Poganda, Prabhuji.
Poganda. So 15th chapter will describe the Poganda Leela. Similarly, 16th chapter will describe which Leela? Now tell me, Ganesh Prabhu, 16th chapter will describe which Leela?
Prabhuji, Kumaram.
No. Kaishore. And the 17th chapter will describe the Leela till his sannyas, which is the Yovan or Yuvavastha or Yovan. So 4 chapters will describe. So in 4 days we will complete this. Okay. If we go a little over time, so don't get disturbed. Because you see what is on offer, what is being offered. There is nothing higher or superior than this to achieve in this world. So don't be misguided by our mischievous mind. This is what the Paramhansas are doing. But the mind is what? The mind is not Paramhans. Okay. So we start the 14th chapter. And the first verse is very, very special verse. Very special verse. The verse to memorize. Okay. I'll read first. 14th chapter, Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes. His advent is over. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has given a summary of this chapter in his Amrit Prabha Bhashya. So Prabhupada has mainly taken from this commentary of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, which is called the Amrit Prabha Bhashya. If you will study Caitanya-caritāmṛta deeply, you will see many places Prabhupada is quoting Amrit Prabha Bhashya. In the 14th chapter, there is a description of how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed his childhood pastimes, crawling, crying, eating dirt, and giving intelligence to his mother, favoring a Brahmana guest, riding on the shoulder of 2 thieves and misleading them to his own house, and on the plea of being diseased, taking prasadam in the house of Hiranya and Jagdish on the Ekashi day. This chapter further describes how he displayed himself as a naughty boy, how when his mother fainted, he brought a coconut to her on his head, how he joked with the girls of the same age on the banks of the Ganges, how he accepted worshipful paraphernalia from Srimati Lakshmi Devi, how he sat down in the garbage pit and instructed his mother in transcendental knowledge, how he left the pit on the order of his mother, and how he dealt with his father with full attention. This is between age 1 to 5. He has done so much. This is very beautiful verse. One of the most beautiful verse of Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Verse to memorize. Kathanchana smarate yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrate viparitam syat Śrī Caitanyam namamitam. So what is the meaning of this verse? See what benediction, what blessing Kaviraj Goswami is saying. He says, Kathanchana smrite yasmin. If anyhow or somehow, Kathanchana smrite yasmin. Smrite means to remember. Yasmin, whom? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one is able to somehow remember the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what happens is dushkaram. Dushkaram means that is very difficult, or that is very intricate. Dushkaram sukaram bhavet. So any act which is impossible or which is very difficult or which is Herculean, it becomes easy. On the other hand, Vismrate Viparitam Syat. But on the other hand, if one forgets Lord Chaitanya, forgetting Lord Chaitanya is forgetting Lord Chaitanya interest. What happened? Opposite happens. Viparitam Syat. Viparit, you understand? Viparit means the reverse will happen. So I bow down to the lotus feet of Sri Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Want to memorize this verse? One more time. Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things becomes very difficult. To this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. So just remember, dushkaram sukaram bhavet. How? Just by remembering the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jayo Jayo Śrī Caitanya, Jayo Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Prabhu Rakahilai, Janma Lila Sutra, Yashoda Nandan Yaiche, Hoila Sachi Putra. So this is the secret. Kaviraj Goswami is saying that I have described in brief the advent of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu and who appeared as the sons of Mother Sachi. Exactly as Krishna appeared as the son of Mother Yashoda. Rajendra Nandan Jai Sachi Shuta Huilo Sei Balaram Huilo Nitai Sangshepa Kahila Janma Lila Anukrama Ibe Kahi Bala Lila Sutrira Ganana. So Kaviraj Goswami is giving the outline that now he is going to describe the Bala Lila. I have already briefly spoken about the pastimes of his birth in chronological order. Now I shall give a synopsis of his childhood pastime. Vande Chaitanya Krishnasya Balalilam Manoharam Laukikam Apitam Isha Jeshtaya Palitantaram. So Vande Chaitanya Krishnaya Balalila Manoharam. So these childhood pastimes are most attractive. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very wonderful. He is not offering obeisances to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is saying, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the childhood pastimes of Lord Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord Krishna himself. Although such pastimes appear exactly like those of an ordinary child, they should be understood at various pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Balilila age Prabhur Uttana Shayana Pita Matai Dekhaila China Charana. So in his first childhood pastime, the Lord turned upside down while lying on. That is what the baby does. Baby, after a few days, what he does, he tries to take the direction of one side. He converts, he shifts himself on the side of his bed. So, and what they could see the signs, the special signs on the lotus feet, on the sole of the feet. The word Uttana is used to mean lying down on the bed face upwards, or lying flat on the bed. In some readings, the word is Utthana, which means standing up. In his childhood pastime, the Lord tried to catch the wall and stand up. But as an ordinary child falls, so the Lord also fell down, again took to lying on his bed. Grihe dui jana dekhi laghu pada chinha tahe shobha dvije vajra shankha chakramina. So when the Lord tried to walk, in his small footprints, the specific marks of Lord Vishnu were visible. So there are, if you see Krishna's charan, so there are special markings, there are special symbols on Krishna's charan. It is distinct for everyone. It is not the same. What Lord Krishna's charan chin are there, Srimati Radharani has distinct charan chin. And the charan chin of Gaur and Nitai are even more distinct than Krishna. Lord Rama has different charan chin. How do I know? Because I got service of doing the Paduka. So I first found out that which chin is there in which deity. And after getting it made and prepared and approved from an authority, then I got it prepared. It was prepared on the silver. That was the silver Paduka on which this symbols were put. In our Radha Parthasarathy altar, we have that. So Mother Sachi, she could see all these footprints, these specific marks. These specific marks, these are the marks, the signage of Lord Vishnu. What is that? Few of it is mentioned here. First is flag, that is Dhwaja, thunderbolt, which is Vajra, conch shell, which is Shankha, and disc, Chakra, and Meena. Meena is fish. देखिया तो हार चित्ते जन मिला विषमय कर पाद चिन्ह करे न पाए निश्चय. Seeing all this marks, neither his father nor his mother could understand whose footprint they were. Thus struck with wonder, they could not understand how those marks could be possible in their home. So they consulted the great astrologer Nilambar Chakravarti, who was their father-in-law also. He was the father of Mother Sachi Devi. So he was invited. Mishra kahe bal gopal ache shila sange teno murti hoya ghare khelo jani range. Jagannath Mishra says, certainly child Krishna is with the Shaligram Shila. Taking his childhood form, he is playing within the room. When the form of the Lord is carved from wood, stone, or any other element, is to be understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there. Even logically, we can understand that all the material elements are expansions of the energy of the Lord. Since the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is non-different from his personal body, the Lord is always present in his energy. And he manifests himself on account of the ardent desire of the devotee. Very important. How the Lord appears, when the Lord appears, it all depends on the desire of his devotee. Since the Lord is supremely powerful, it is logical that he can manifest himself into his energy. Deity worship or worship of the Solagram Shila is not idol worship. The deity of the Lord in the house of a pure devotee can act exactly as he can in his original transcendental personality. So it is very important that who is the devotee who is invoking the auspicious presence or appearance of the Lord. Shai shane jagini mai karaye krandhana anekalaya sachi tare paila asthana. While Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra were talking, child Nimai woke up and began to cry. And Mother Sachi took him on her lap and allowed him to suck her breast. Sthana piyaite putre charana dekhila sei chinna paye dekhi Mishra bolaila. When Mother Sachi was feeding the child from her breast, she saw on his lotus feet all the marks that were visible on the floor of the room. And she called for Jagannath Mishra. So when Mother Sachi was feeding the child Nimai, what she could see the lotus feet of her son. And on the lotus feet, what she saw were so many signs. And she was becoming a little amazed. So she called for Jagannath Mishra to make out what it is. देखिया मिश्रेरा होइला आनंदिता मती गुप्त बोलाइला नीरांबर चक्रवर्ती. So when Jagannath Mishra saw the wonderful marks on the soul of his son, he became very joyful and privately called for Nilambar Chakravarti. Nilambar Chakravarti is a big authority. He is a great astrologer and he knows the astronomy also. Chinna dekhi Chakravarti bole na hasiya lagna gani purva rami rakhiya che likhiya. When Nilambar Chakravarti saw these marks, he smilingly said, formerly I ascertained all this by astrological calculations and noted it in a writing. Vatrisa Lakshana Mahapurusha Bhushana Ei Shishu Anga Dekhi Sesava Lakshana. So the first declaration about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his position is here. What Nilambar Chakravarti saw. What he saw, there were 32 bodily marks that symptomize the great personalities. And I see all these marks on the body of this child. Pancha dirga, pancha sukshma, sapta rakta shadonmata, tri hashva prithugam bhiro, dvatra ismal lakshano mahan. There are 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality, not 64, 32. 5 of his bodily parts are large, 5 fine, 7 reddish, 6 raised, 3 small, 3 broad, and 3 grave. Don't try to compare it with ourselves. Don't try to do this observation or examination. That what are the body parts which are large, which is fine, what are the 7 things which are reddish. So Prabhupada is giving all these details in his purport. The 5 large parts are nose, arms, chin, eyes, and knees. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pranam mantra is Ajana Lambito Bhujo. His arms are so long that it touches the knee. The 5 fine parts are skin, fingertips, teeth, hair on the body, and hair on the head. And the 7 reddish parts are the eyes, soles, palms, palate, nails, the upper and lower lips. The 6 raised parts are chest, shoulders, nails, nose, waist, and mouth. And the 3 small parts are neck, thigh, and the genital. And the 3 broad parts are the waist, forehead, and chest. The 3 grave parts are the navel, voice, and existence. Although these are 32 symptoms of a great personality, this is quotation from Samudrika. This would be one Shastra. Nayanera chinna yukta Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ei Shishu sarva loka kariba tarane. This baby has all the symptoms of Lord Narayan on his palm and soles. He will be able to deliver all the 3 worlds. Eita kariba Vaishnav dharmera prachar iya hoite hobe dui kulera nistar. So Nilambar Chakravarti continues and he says, this child will preach the Vaishnava cult and deliver both his maternal and paternal families. Mahotsav kara sab bola ha brahmana aji din bhala kariba nama karana. So the priest who was brought from where? From Mathura. Not Mathura. This is God Lila. Nilambar Chakravarti who came from Belpukur. What he said, I propose to perform a name-giving ceremony. We should observe a festival and call for the Brahmanas because today is very auspicious. So Nilambar Chakravarti declared this. Sarvalokera kariba iha dharana poshana Vishwambhar nama iha eita. So this is the name-giving ceremony by Śrī Nilambar Chakravarti. What he says, Sarv lokera kariba ihan dharana poshana. So this child will protect and maintain all the worlds. Further, the reason, for this reason, he will be called Vishwambhara. The first name given to Lord Chaitanya is Nimai. And the second name given, the Nimai name was given by, who gave the Nimai name? Who remembers? Yes, Pranab Prabhu?
Sita Devi, Advaita Acharya's.
Right. Sita Devi, Advaitacharya's consort. She gave. So the first name was given by Sita Devi, which was Nimai. And who gave the second name? Quickly. Yes.
Prabhuji, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ji.
No. You have not heard sufficiently. Yes, Sonika? You withdrew your hand?
I was also going to tell same, Prabhuji.
Yes, Suman will tell. Yes, Suman.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, ladies of Nadia.
Yes, this is hearing. This is hearing. This is actually hearing. Hearing with heart. No one took notice. I was taking notice yesterday. All the ladies of Navadip, they greeted. And what did they say? What did they call him?
Gaura Hari.
Gaura Hari. Why they called him Gaura Hari?
Because his complexion was white and he, when he cried, when they take Hari name, Hari's name.
Yes, because he was always crying. And whenever they were calling Hari, the child stopped crying. And because he was molten gold, so his name was Gaura Hari. And this is the third name which is given by Nilambar Chakravarti, which is Vishwambhara. Ajana lambito bhujo kanakavdato sankirtane ke pitaro kamalay taksho Vishwambharo dujabharo yuga dharma palo Vande jagat priya karo karunavataro. That is the first verse of Chaitanya Bhagavat. That is the invocation verse. So the naming of Vishwambhara. Vishwambhara means one who will protect and maintain the whole world. So Prabhupada is quoting. Śrī Caitanya Bhagavat confirms that Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his birth has made the whole world peaceful. As in the past, Narayan protected this earth in his incarnation as Varaha because of his protecting and maintaining this world. In the present Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Vishwambhara, which refers to one who feeds the entire world. The movement inaugurated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was present 500 years ago is again being propagated all over the world. And factually, we are seeing its practical results. People are being saved, protected, and maintained by this Hare Krishna movement. Thousands of followers, especially Western youths, are taking part in this Hare Krishna movement. And how safe and happy they feel can be understood from the expression of gratitude in their hundreds and thousands of letters. The name Vishwambhara is also mentioned in the Atharva Ved Samhita. Vishwambhara Vishvena Ma Bharasha Pahi Swaha. Suni Sachi Mishrera Mane Ananda Badaila. Brahmana Brahmani Ani Mahotsav Kaila. So the name giving ceremony was followed by a great big festival. After hearing Nilambar Chakravarti's production, Sachi Mata and Jagan Mishra observed the name-giving festival in great joy, inviting all the Brahmanas and their wives. Tabe kata din Prabhu janu chanakramana nana chamatkara tatha karila darshana. Tabe kata dine, after some days have passed by. So what he said, Prabhu Janu Chankramana. So what he did, as the baby becomes a little grown up, he starts to crawl. So Mahaprabhu started to crawl on his knees. Bangla it is called Janu Chankramana. Janu means the knees and Chankramana means the crawling. So as he began to crawl on his knees, he caused various wonderful things to be seen. Nana Chamatkara Karila Darshan. So Chaitanya Bhagavat describes one day when the Lord was crawling upon his knees, the bells of his waist are ringing very sweetly. A snake came out to crawl in the yard of the Lord, who captured the snake like a curious child. Immediately the snake coiled over him. The Lord as a child then rested on the snake, and after some time the snake went away, leaving the Lord aside. So this is when he was in his age 1 to 5. Krandanera chhale bala ila hari naam, nari sab nari bole hasa gauradham. The Lord caused all the ladies to chant the holy names. Krandanera. Krandanera means, Krandan means to cry. And chhale means to cheat. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do, what Nimai used to do, that he used to cry. And by crying, what he used to do, he used to take away the attention. Or he was to bring the attention on Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because they would chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and he would stop crying. The Lord caused all the ladies to chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the plea of his crying. While they chanted, the Lord would smile. Tabe kata dina kaila pada chankra mana shishu gane mili kaila vividha khelana. So after some days, the Lord began to move his legs and walk. He mixed with other children and exhibited various sports. Ek din sachi kahe ei sandesha niya bata bhari diya baila khauta bhashiya. So ek din sachi kaha sandesha aniya. So Sachi Devi one day, when the Lord was enjoying his playful sport with other children, Mother Sachi brought a dish filled with fused rice and sweetmeats. What is it mentioned here? It is called Sandesha. Bata Bhari. Bata Bhari means the tiffin. Sachi Mata bought a dish filled with fused rice and sweetmeats and asked the child to sit down and eat them. So what is the result? Eta bali gela sachi grihe karma karite lukaya lagila shishu mritaka khaite. So when she returned on her household duty, the child hid from his mother and began to eat dirt. This is between Nimai and between, who is the other party? What is being explained? This conversation is between Nimai and, quickly. अरे अभी भी confused है?
Sachi Mataji.
Yeah, Sachi Devi. So when she returns to her household duties, the child hid from his mother and began to eat dirt. Deki sacha dhanaya kari haya haye haye. Acha. Deki sachi dhanaya kari haye haye. Mati kada laya kahe, mati ke na khaye. So Sachi Devi, when she heard that what Nimai is doing, she came rushing. Seeing this, Mother Sachi hastily returned and exclaimed, "What is this? What is this?" She snatched the dirt from the hands of Lord and inquired why he was eating it. So the pastime is that Krishna, he was feeling hungry. And what he found some dirt. And he began to eat that dirt. And when he was trying to eat the dirt, Mother Sachi appears there and snatches the dirt from the hands of the Lord and inquired why he was eating. Handiya balena shishu kare kora rosh, kene kora rosh, tumi mata khaite dila mora kiba dosh. So look how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responds. Crying, the child inquired from his mother, why are you angry? You have already given me dirt to eat. What is my fault? How Mother Sachi has given dirt to eat? So he will explain. Khai sandesha anayate ka matir vikar eho mati seha mati ki bheda vichar. So khai is fused rice. We have seen puffed rice, but I don't know what is this fused rice. Then sandesha, sweetmeats. Anna is eatables. And yateka. So fused rice, sweetmeats and all other eatables are but transformations of dirt. This is dirt, that is dirt. Please consider what is the difference between them. So Mahaprabhu gives the tarka based on Mayavad philosophy. And he's saying that everything else is one. So what is the difference between dirt and what is the difference between sandesh? You give me sandesh and ask me to eat. But eating sandesh is as equal to eating dirt. And he proved it. Mati deha mati bhaksha dekha havichari avichare deha desha deha dosha ki bolite pari. This body is transformation of dirt. Who is explaining? Who is giving this knowledge or discourse?
Nimai.
Yeah, Nimai. And to whom is he teaching? To Sachi Mataji. He is proving that both the dirt and the sandesh are the same. This body is a transformation of dirt. Why you say only dirt? He says the body is also transformation of dirt and the eatables are also transformation of dirt. Please reflect upon this. You are blaming me without consideration. What can I say? Prabhupada gives a long purport. Antare Vismita Sachi Boli Lata Hare Mati Khaite Jnana Yoga Ke Sikhala Tare. Astonished that the child was speaking Mayavad philosophy, Mother Sachi replied, who has taught you this philosophical speculation that justifies eating dirt? Astonished that the child was speaking Mayavad philosophy, Mother Sachi, okay, who has taught you this philosophical? मिट्टी रवि कार्य न खाइला देहा पुष्टि होया मट्टी खाइला रोग होए देखी होया शया. Replying to the Mayavadi idea of the child philosopher, Mother Sachi said, my dear boy, if we eat earth transformed into grain, our body is nourished and it becomes strong. But if we eat dirt in the crude state, the body becomes diseased instead of being nourished and it is destroyed. So verse number 32, it says that मट्टी रविकार घटे पानी भरे आनी मट्टी पिंदे धारी आवे शोषी या pani. In a water pot, which is transformation of dirt, I can bring water very easily. Nima is explaining. Water pot means what? The mud and water pot. One can bring water in it. But if I pour water on a lamp of dirt, the lamp would soak up the water and my labor will be useless. Atma lukaite Prabhu boli lata hare Aage kena iha mata se nikhala more. The Lord replied to his mother, why do you conceal self-realization by not teaching me this practical philosophy in the beginning? So Nima is complaining. Ebe se jani lina aur mati na khaiba shudha lage ye baat tabe tumhara sthana paiba. Now that I can understand this philosophy, no more I eat dirt. However, I am hungry. I shall stuck you your breast and drink your breast milk. After saying this, the Lord smilingly slightly climbed on the lap of his mother and sucked her breast. Ei mata nana chile aishwarya dekhiya balya bhava prakatiya pashura lokiya. Thus various excuses the Lord exhibited his opulence as much as possible, his childhood, and later, after exhibiting such opulences, he hid himself. अतिथि विप्रेरान खाइला तीन बार पाछे गुप्त से विप्र करीला निस्तार. So this is another childhood pastime. When there is a Brahmana, a very strict Brahmana who comes and he stays in the house of Jagannath Mishra. So on one occasion, the Lord ate the food of a Brahmana's guest 3 times. Later in confidence, the Lord delivered that Brahmana from material engagement. करोड़ लाया गेला प्रभु बहिर पाइया तारे स्कंद छाड़ी आइला तारे भुलाइया. In his childhood, the Lord was taken away by 2 thieves outside his home. You know this story, no? The 2 thieves came and they wanted the ornament of Krishna and Balaram. And what they did, they didn't want to scare the child. So they started to play with the child. In his childhood, the Lord was taken away by 2 thieves outside his house. The Lord, however, got up the shoulders of the thieves, and while they were thinking, they were safely carrying the child to the dog. His ornaments, the Lord misled them, and thus instead of going to their own home, the thieves came back to the home of Jagannath Mishra. How it is possible? By mercy. In his childhood, the Lord was profusely decorated with gold garments. Once upon a time, when the Lord was playing outside his house, 2 thieves passing on the same street saw the opportunity to rob him. Therefore, they took him on the shoulders, pleasing him by offering him some sweetmeats. The thieves thought that they would carry the energy upon the thieves so much so that instead of carrying him to the forest, they can come right back in front of his house. व्याधि चले जगदीशा हिरण्य साधने वायु नैवेद्य खाइला एकादशी दिने. So in very short, it is being mentioned that this is the pastime of Lord pretending to be sick, and he asked some food from the house of Hiranya and Jagdish on Ekasi day. What did he eat on Ekasi day? He got rice. And he was so happy to get that rice. Okay, I will stop here. My battery is completely drained. Cannot continue. Eyes are closing, drooping. Waking up very early, before 3. And during the day, there is no rest. Intense, very, very intense sessions are happening. We're trying to attend them. Okay, I'll continue tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we will be able to complete this chapter of his childhood pastimes. Anyone wants to say something? Mention? और फिर बाल लीला, महाप्रभु बाल लीला। हरि बोल। माननीय माता जी, हरे कृष्णा, सुन रही हैं आप?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
आपने अप्लाई कर दिया?
नहीं प्रभु जी, आज थोड़ा वो रिव्यू मीटिंग के लिए आए थे बाहर से, तो अप्लाई नहीं कर पाए प्रभु जी।
कल कर दीजिएगा आप। हमने तो अप्लाई कर दिया है, यहाँ आपकी एप्लीकेशन लगा दी है।
हाँ प्रभु जी, कल कल बात कर लूंगी प्रभु जी।
कि आप देखो ना, यही बता रहे हैं हाँ कि
हाँ प्रभु।
दुष्कर्म सुकर्म भवेत। चैतन्य महाप्रभु को याद करिए और आगे बढ़िए।
हाँ प्रभु जी, आपका आशीर्वाद होगा तो हो जाएगा
अरे
प्रभु
तो
जी।
भैया मैं बता तो रहा हूँ, मैंने तो उनसे प्रार्थना कर दी है और ये वर्ष आ गया आज।
हाँ प्रभु जी।
फिर क्या सोचना है? जो सोचता है वो रह जाएगा और जो
नहीं प्रभु
करता
जी,
है वो बढ़
आना है।
जाएगा। सीधा है, हाँ बस। तो आना है तो बताइए।
हाँ प्रभु जी, आना है।
ये वर्ष याद कर लेना चाहिए। कथंचना स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करम सुकरम भवेत। और दूसरा भी बोल रहे हैं, यहीं पर नहीं छोड़ रहे हैं। विस्मृते विपरीतम स्यात् श्री चैतन्य नमामितम। तो किस बात का? मैं यहाँ देख रहा हूँ इतने सारे भक्त पूरे वर्ल्ड से आए हुए हैं। हाँ, फॉरेन
हाँ
कंट्री से आते हैं, एक एक टिकट 1.5-2 लाख रुपए की होती। उनके पास पैसा नहीं होता है, कैसे आते हैं? सुकरम दुष्करम सुकरम भवे, महाप्रभु के पास आते हैं, हर साल आते हैं। हाँ, और एक चमत्कार मैंने आज खुद अपने आंखों के सामने से देखा। ये कैसे? हाँ, दुष्कर्म सुकर्म भवेत, जिनके बारे में बता रहा हूँ मैं, प्रभुपाद जी के जो शिष्य हैं, वे शासिका प्रभु, वो वर्ल्ड के सबसे बड़े बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है। तो उन्होंने चैतन्य चरितामृत साथ में रखी हुई थी, पूरी 9 वॉल्यूम्स अपने डेस्क के ऊपर। जब क्लास ओवर हो गई तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये चैतन्य चरितामृत मैं किसी को गिफ्ट करना चाहता हूँ। देखिए क्या कला है। और कैसे उन्होंने हमारे सामने ही कितनी सारी बुक्स सेल कर दी। हम सोच रहे थे कि आज क्या करेंगे प्रभु जी, जरा हम भी देखें कि कौन सा आज तीर निकालेंगे अपने तरकश से, आज क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ तो सारे भक्त आए हुए हैं। उन्होंने बोला किसके पास चैतन्य चरितामृत नहीं है? तो एक इंग्लैंड के डिवोटी ने हाथ उठाया, तो बोले मैं आपको गिफ्ट करूंगा, एड्रेस मुझे दे दो, मैं आपके पास पहुंचा दूंगा, कोई पैसे नहीं लूंगा आपसे। तो हो गई, वो तो निकल गया। उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा ऐसे कितने लोग हैं जो अपने मित्रों को गिफ्ट करना चाहते हैं, हाथ उठाए। कई लोगों ने हाथ उठाए, उन सबका नाम ले लिए। वो सब पैसे भी देंगे और पे भी करेंगे और उनके मित्रों को चेतन चेतन पर 100 से ज्यादा सेट उसी समय भेज दिए 10 मिनट के अंदर। दिस इज प्योरिटी, दिस इज प्योरिटी। धाम के अंदर आके यहाँ सबके पास बुक्स है। हाँ, हमारे बीच में से ही 100 लोगों को बुक्स भेज दी 10 मिनट के अंदर, सेट 100 सेट। और उन्होंने पूछा कि कितना प्राइस है इंडिया में, क्योंकि प्रभु जी यूएस में है, वो दिसंबर से यहाँ पे हैं मायापुर धाम में। तो पूछ रहे थे कि इंडियन प्राइस कितना है, पता तो उनको सब कुछ है। तो बताया 3300 या 3500। तो बोले कितने डॉलर होते हैं? तो कैलकुलेशन किया, बोले 50 से भी कम डॉलर। बोले तो वैसे ही फ्री है, ले लो, ले जाओ, आपके पास है तो किसी और को दे दो, गिफ्ट दे दो। 100 लोगों ने साइन कर दिए, 100 सेट्स भेज दिए उन्होंने। क्या फर्क क्या है? विश्वास। डिफरेंस इज वेयर? डिफरेंस इज इन द हार्ट। दुष्कर्म सुकर्म भवेत, निश्चित होगा। कौन बोल रहा है? कविराज गोस्वामी बोल रहे हैं। लेकिन हमें क्या है, कविराज कौन होते हैं? हमारा जो माइंड बोल रहा है वो तो हमारा आचार्य है। हमारा आचार्य कविराज गोस्वामी थोड़ी है। हमारे आचार्य है हमारा मन, हमारी बुद्धि, और दोनों क्या है? चंचला। डरने कोई काम नहीं है। चैतन्य महाप्रभु के जो भक्त हैं वो बिल्कुल निडर है। केवल क्या करना, क्या श्रवण करना है। वो बता रहे थे कि मैं यही कर रहा था पिछले 20 दिन से, केवल चैतन्य चरितामृत सुन रहा हूँ। पूरा 5 घंटे हम लोग बैठते हैं। और ये बहुत ही प्रिविलेज ग्रुप है प्रभुपाद जी के एक और शिष्य हैं, हिज होलीनेस केशव भारती स्वामी महाराज। और मेरा बड़ा सौभाग्य है, महाराज का मुझे बहुत आशीष प्राप्त है। महाराज गोवर्धन में कई साल रहे हैं। वो वहां पे गोवर्धन में जो बुक्स हैं उनके एडिशंस करते थे, जो बहुत एडवांस बुक्स हैं जिनका हम लोग नाम भी नहीं जानते। उन सब बुक्स का वो एडिशन करते हैं, एडिट करते हैं। तो हर इसमें कार्तिक में प्रभुपाद जी के कई शिष्य लोग पूरे वर्ल्ड से आते हैं गोवर्धन में, और उनके पास एक ही कार्य होता है, एक ही कार्य करते हैं। वो प्रभुपाद जी के पुस्तकों को पढ़ते हैं तात्पर्यों के साथ और उसके ऊपर चर्चा करते हैं। एक श्लोक सिखाता हूँ मैं आपको, खोलो ये श्लोक। मनीष प्रभु ये श्लोक निकालो। चलो मेरी नींद भी खुल गई, भाग गई नींद अब। लेकिन मुझे सोना पड़ेगा क्योंकि कल भी 2:45 बजे उठना है। यहाँ आके अगर प्रभुपाद जी की समाधि पे नहीं गए तो फिर क्या फायदा आने का। अब प्रभुपाद जी की समाधि थोड़ी दूर है, 10-15 मिनट लगता है जाने में भी। इलेवन थ्री थर्टी ये अभी तक का इस यात्रा का सबसे बड़ा इंस्पिरेशन है ये वर्ष। देखिए वर्ष क्या बोलता है, श्रीमद् भागवतम से ही है। परस्पर अनुकथनम पावनम भगवद यशः मीतो रतिर्मितस्तुष्टिर निवृत्तिर्मित आत्मना। बहुत ही सुंदर, क्या बोल रहे हैं? परस्पर अनुकथनम। परस्पर मतलब है दो लोगों के बीच में जो म्यूचुअल है। क्या करना चाहिए? दो लोग जो मिलते हैं तो उन्हें क्या करना चाहिए? अनुकथनम। अनुकथनम का मतलब क्या है? दे शुड डिस्कस व्हाट? पावनम भगवद यशः। One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. Association का मतलब क्या है? हाँ, एसोसिएशन का मतलब क्या है? हाँ, संघ का मतलब क्या है? साधु संघ का मतलब क्या है? That by gathering to chant the glories of the Lord. और क्या है? पावनम. And this process is most purifying. Why? Because this is Bhagavad Yashaha. One is chanting the glories, one is reciting or sharing the glories. So what will be the result? Next two line में result बता रहे हैं। मीतो रतिर मितस्तुष्टिर. So thus the devotees who are discussing Krishna Katha or Hari Katha or Gaur Katha, they will develop that loving friendship. So friendship should be based on Hari Katha. So that will be Ratir. Ratir will come. The attraction for Krishna will be developed. Why attraction for Krishna is not being developed? Because we don't sufficiently hear and we never discuss. As we hear and discuss, Shukadeva Goswami is giving this blessing. Mito ratir mitastushtir. Not only there will be loving friendship, but there will be complete happiness and satisfaction. Tushtir. Tushtir means satisfaction. And most important thing, nivrittir mit atmana. And by thus encouraging one another, they will be able to give up material sense gratification, which is so deep-rooted, which is the cause of all suffering. This is what is bhakti, and this is what is bhakta sangha. What is that? Paraspara anukathanam. Okay. So I had never heard this verse, and what happened? Okay, Manish, minimize it. So this is what I am going to do. Whoever wants to join me is welcome. Whoever wants to drink the poison of the world, what can I do? then what can I do? It is up to him. That is what Kaviraj Goswami is saying. पाइया मनुष्य जन्मा, ये ना सुने गौर गुना, हे ना जन्म तारा व्यर्थ हिला। पाइया अमृत धुनि, पिए विष गर्ता पानी, जन्मिया से कहना नहीं महिला। Okay, thank you very much. We will continue tomorrow. Okay, Hare Krishna. Now anyone wants to say something? रविंदर, आपका फाइल वाइल तो खुला नहीं भाई, चिंता की कोई बात नहीं है। एक गाड़ी हमने कर ली है, बात कर ली है, विंगर गाड़ी है, उसमें 13 से 15 लोग आराम से आ सकते हैं। वो हम आपके पास वर्धमान में भेज देंगे, उसमें आप सब लोग लगेज के साथ बैठ के आ जाइए, 2.5-3 घंटे में आपको यहाँ ले आएगी। और कल हम जाके वो सारा स्थान देखे आए जहाँ हम लोग रहेंगे। सब वो सब हमको, मतलब महाराज बड़े ही प्रेम से हमें प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं कि हम कब आएंगे उधर। ठीक है, हरे कृष्णा। ठीक है माननीय माता जी।
हाँ प्रभु जी, हाँ प्रभु जी,
ये वर्ष याद कर लेना।
हाँ
और
प्रभु
मैंने
जी।
अलग से नहीं निकाले हैं, ये इसी चैप्टर में आए हैं। 4वें जो 13वां अध्याय था आदि लीला का, उसका सेकंड लास्ट वर्स है।
हाँ प्रभु जी। और
4वें अध्याय का 5वां वर्ष पहला ही वर्ष है। ठीक, और डरने का कोई नहीं है। हाँ, महाप्रभु का नाम करो, स्मरण करो। हाँ, दुष्कर्म सुकर्म भवेत्।
ठीक है प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
दंडवत। चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। आज अग्नेश ने मुझे कहा है कि वो 2 जनों को लाने का प्रयास करेगा, और तो टिकट आपकी वेस्ट नहीं जाएगी। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरि हरि बोल।